Samantha Jade, welcome to the Sound Museum.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you. It's been so long since I've seen you.
It's been too long.
Just worked out the Logies 2016 was last time that I saw you, and
Wow.
heaps happened since then. And I'm so pleased because when you release new music, everyone's so happy. And you have just released the new EP, Lovesick Volume 2. The lead single, Peachy. I first heard this track, Sammy. I was just It's so bright, bouncy, catchy, makes you smile, that addictive chorus. Reminds me a lot of Sweet Talk, by the way.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And you worked with some great people on this track.
I did. I was this time with this record, I really wanted to work with teams that I love and feel comfortable with. And I feel like I'm at the point now where I've been writing for so long and I've been in studios my whole life, really. And it's nice to be in studios where you're completely comfortable, no idea goes astray, no idea is not loved, and at least heard. So I I really wanted to go in with people that get me in and I get them. And so I went in with Morgan and Amira and obviously my best friend Zach. And all of us were like, we just want to write a pop song that we would love. You know what I mean? Like that we would listen to and be like, love that. And I think with this song, we really got that. Like every time, we weren't we were fast with the melodies and we were fast with the lyrics, but we weren't fast in the way that we were like, oh, that's good enough. We really wanted to make sure we all just loved it. So every single part we were like, can that be better? Can we beat it? And I think that's how Peachy really came to be. I mean, and a lot of people have been saying to me that they think the verse is as catchy as the chorus. And I'm like, well, that's because actually we started almost with the verse as a possible chorus. So it's all about just finding that, every part it needs to be catchy in its own right. Yeah, I'm thinking for somebody who knows me completely. Now I'm saying life is peachy. Now I never ever have to be lonely because I found somebody to love. I found somebody to love.
Morgan has worked with like the Backstreet Boys, which you supported last year on tour, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
And most recently, Michael Bolton. So you were in good hands with him.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I love Michael Bolton.
Me too.
What a
Amazing
voice.
voice.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, and the Backstreet Boys. And my friend Zach's worked with Michael Bolton and the Backstreet Boys as well. I mean, I think that, and Amira too. I think Amira, Zach, and Morgan wrote that Michael Bolton song together, which is so cool. So they were kind of talking about that when we were doing Peachy, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so exciting. But yeah, I mean, when you go in with people that have worked with people of that caliber, it's always really exciting because you know that they've been in the room with people that are, huge with huge careers, and there's something really special about that being in the room with those people.
With that song, pop is back at the moment.
I
Pop is
know, thank God.
so, I bet you've been doing this for so long, but now's the time to sort of embrace that whole pop moment because Sabrina
Yeah.
Carpenter and all these pop influences coming through. It's perfect timing.
Oh, totally. And I'm loving it because I really am that girl, as you know. I mean, you know me.
Mm.
We've known each other for years. So that pop is where I sit. It's what I love. It's for me the kind of music that I always have made. So it just happens that, the world is happy about it now. I think I've always been in this realm, but now it's really accepted in a different way. I think, there was a time where there was a real stigma on pop and, you know, um, singing, with, I guess, those kind of pop melodies and pop vocals. And now it's kind of, yeah, people are loving it. And I'm like, oh, good, because I've always loved it.
Can we talk Minutes to Midnight?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, another pop banger for the setlist, Sammy. I mean,
Yes.
that retro sort of vibe, that epic chorus.
Yeah.
Tell us about that track because that track is fantastic. I love that one.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Actually, I've been getting so many messages about that song, which is really exciting because obviously when you put the single out, you hope people are going to love it and they hear that more, so they talk to you about it more. But it's been really interesting with the EP getting a lot of love on minutes. I went same team, Morgan, Amira, and Zach. And with that one, I actually really wanted to. I love Robin. I've always been a huge fan of Robin and her work.
Mm,
And I really wanted to write. I think what she encapsulates beautifully is moody pop. It's obviously under the pop umbrella. It's obviously very pop, but it's very moody. She uses some darker kind of chords, and there's a sadness to some of her music, which I love because I'm that person that loves to put a song on and cry, but also dance. Um, and with Minutes to Midnight, I mean, the whole concept is that it's, you know, every single time it gets to that point, I want to call you. And we've all been there. We've all been there when you're in a toxic thing or you're in something that isn't working for you, but you're like, oh, every single time it gets to this. And I think with that, we really encapsulated that feeling, and Morgan with the production encapsulated that vibe, and not just with the lyrics. I think you can listen to that track and even the melodies hummed and really understand where it's sitting in you. And that's why I feel like it's connecting.
It's minutes to midnight. I'm running out of time, and it's a new day. I'm missing you.
and another track I absolutely loved was New Me.
Oh,
And this I can relate to so much because this one's for your mum, is that right?
yes.
I lost my mum in 2018.
I'm so sorry.
And yeah, it was a really difficult time. And I can sort of relate to the lyrics because obviously since then I've met my now fiance Sean, and we've moved back to Melbourne together, and just
Yes.
moving away from the family home and the memories. And it
Mhm.
doesn't really matter where you are, they're still with you, they're still your guiding light.
Always.
What was, because this is a really different take for you.
First of all, I'm so sorry that you lost your mum. I
Thanks,
totally
sweetheart.
understand that feeling.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you know what? This one, the way I wanted to write this one, and me and Zach and I, we came up with this melody with no music. We wrote this song to no music, basically, and then went in and produced around it. Um, with this girl named Drea who was just so talented, and just she completed the track. But we wanted to, I think it's that thing of like, it's been 10 years since my mum passed. So it's been a really long time. And I've been getting the question of, does it get easier? It's been 10 years, so how does that feel? And for me, it really doesn't. Of course, time goes on and you get used to a new version of your life, but you always miss them. You always miss them. And in certain moments, it feels like yesterday, and there's certain things where you think you would have probably moved past that, but you still get really emotional. For me, it's Christmas, birthdays, Quantisads, like it's random things. Whenever you kind of, sometimes I'll be walking and I'll hear someone be like, "Mum," and I'm like, "Oh my God," or see mum come up on someone's phone, and you're like, "Oh God, what I would give for a phone call." So this was about like, how do I move past this grief? How do I move past missing you? Because I can't live my life. I can't focus on my everyday. I can't do my life. Is it that I have to invent a whole new person? But if I did that, would that new person still miss you too? And so it was just about that question of like, at this point, I've exhausted every option, and the only option left is to really become someone new.
Would it change a thing if I woke up one day and I chose to be someone new? Or would the new me miss you too?
Sometimes when we first moved into this place, I was in the garden and it was during summertime, and I'm not really a gardener, but I was in the garden just putting out weeds and stuff.
Yeah.
And two butterflies appeared. And
Oh, they say yeah, I love that.
yeah, that happens often when I'm in the garden. It's just a really, so I
Beautiful.
know that my parents are around and they're with me.
Absolutely. Always, always. And
Yeah.
I do
Do
believe
you
that, yeah,
do you have sort of those, those situations where a random moment something happens that connects you to your mum?
always. It is so weird. It's really random things, but and I think for me, it's like you, I feel like things can happen and you know because you feel it. And it's that thing of like, oh my gosh. I know that was my mum, or I know that was my, whoever it may be that's passed. But for me, yeah, definitely I get little things that happen. Feathers, they say if you find feathers, that happens. But mine's mostly like random things. Like Zach and I were driving in LA when we were writing this record. So random. We always talk about my mum when we're together because he was around literally in the literally in the hospital room when my mum actually passed away. He was there. So he was really around. He's like my other brother. It's TJ, Alex, and Zach. But we were driving in the car and we'd just been talking about her so much. And we're like, oh God, I remember this and how funny she was and this and that. And there is a car that pulls in front of us, and the license plate is JJJ Love Heart SSS. And my mum's name was Jackie. And I have this tattoo of this J. And I was like, and we both, and 9. There was a 9 in it. We have a photo of it somewhere. I have to grab that photo. And I was like, there is no way. And he was like, are you seeing this? And I was like, yeah. Just little things like that. I mean, so random. What are the odds of a car pulling in front with that on it? And we're talking about her.
That's
And we just
amazing.
talked to his mum, which whenever I talk to his mum, I'm like, oh, it's so nice to talk to a mum. So yeah, it was just things like that that really, like, I know. I'm like, oh, she's like, I'm still here.